John Mitchell Inglis was born in Halifax and grew up on Robie Street. He enlisted just shy of his 23rd birthday. He served as a draftsman for the 14th Brigade Canadian Field Artillery. He was hospitalized 1 month before the armistice due to a gunshot wound to the head and stricken off strength in June 1919. So this whole scrapbook was made by John Inglis when he came back from the war. He had compiled all the memorabilia and he had put it into his basement. And one day, after the war was over, before the Second World War, he was down there, found it, and was about to burn it. And decided that instead of burning it, he should probably compile it at least for his children and potentially his grandchildren. And he began to pull it all together with his own personal anecdotes and stories. One of the stories he tells in his memoir is how he was shot just before the armistice and how he was given a cigarette for comfort. He was told to roll up his shirt. They gave him a shot for tetanus and opened up the wound in his head and used a pair of needle nose pliers to pull out the shrapnel. The doctor actually told him had it been a little closer, he would have not made it. But this whole book is full of these amazing stories of people that he met and continued to keep in touch with, including this fellow here, who he later drew a cartoon of getting pulled away on a stretcher. And the story goes that this young man kind of called out to him as he was sketching, "And if I die, give my clean shirt to the lousiest guy in the battery." This character goes on to live his life in Palo Verde's estates in California and sends him a postcard one day saying, "Get your clean shirt ready and come out and visit me and we'll drink some rum." Mitchell met this artist. They had kind of a draw off, if you will. Mitchell had explained that he loved to draw, and this guy said, "I like to draw." And he said, "Well, show me," and made him draw a sketch of him. Later, he realized that he was actually an established artist, and he had meant to, and indicates down in his notes that he never did find out the fellow's name, but was pretty sure that he was at the Beaverbrook Art Gallery, and that's something that we just haven't had a chance to look into. Anyways, through the rest of the book, he explains various incidences that he's involved in, but he also talks a lot about the fact that he began to sketch and draw, and his fellow comrades commented, "Oh, you're really good at this. You should participate in our newsletter." And so he began to draw for what's called the OPIP, and drew all sorts of great cartoons based on their experiences for the OPIP. He does also tell one story about the commander of his unit who had an idea to pitch a story and had come to him and said, "I would like you to do the illustrations." It was for the Saturday Evening Post, and Colonel Oldring was going to pitch this. It was accepted, I suppose, by the Saturday Evening Post, but they just had to finalize the details. And the day they got together to finalize the details on that manuscript, they were bombed, and Oldring didn't make it. So Mitchell makes it home back to the continent. He ends up going to art school in Boston and then comes back to live out his days in Halifax. And this is an image of him in Halifax, outside his home. His son said that he always had a painting going on in the background, something that he was working on. And I'd love to finish with this image.